Question 10 is a box plot question. Only this time they haven't given you the information that you need. They've given it to you as raw information. Now, for a box plot, I'm just going to remind you that you need a minimum, then your lower quartile, then your median, then your upper quartile, then your maximum. And looking at that data, I can see that they're already in order from smallest to largest. If it wasn't in order from smallest to largest, I would definitely order it first. Okay, so the minimum value I can see is 16. So minimum is 16. I'm going to go ahead and draw that on my graph. 10, 20, so there's a gap of 10 and there's 10 spaces. So 16 is going to be there. I'm now going to find my median because that's the next easiest one to find. There are 15 women. In order to find the median, I need to find the woman that stood halfway between them all. Now I know that half of 15 is a decimal number. So what I'm going to do is call it 15 plus 1 because that eradicates the fact that it would be a odd number. So 15 add 1 divided by 2, that's going to give me 8. So I need the 8th person for my median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that there is my median. Is 28. Now I found the median, I can find my lower and upper quartiles. If the median, so the halfway value, was 8th, then in order to find 1/4, I would halve that. So I'm looking for the 4th person. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that there is my LQ. Now I'm looking for the upper quartile, which is 3/4, which would be the 4 and the 8, so the 12th person. So there was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my upper quartile is 42. I'm going to go ahead and draw all those on now. There's my minimum, 16. My lower quartile was 20. My median was 28. I'm so nervous drawing in pen now after that last question. My upper quartile is 42. And my maximum is 50. So let's draw that on. Now with box plots, you connect the upper and lower quartile. So that's the 3 middle lines, they go in the box. And then I just connect my minimum and maximum to the box. And that's my box plot. For this is 3 marks. You get a full 3 marks if you've drawn that. You get 2 marks if you've got 3 correctly plotted values, including the box. Okay, so box and whiskers. So you would need to show that there's a box and that there are whiskers. You get 1 mark if you've got 2 correctly plotted values, including the box, or 5 values and no box. So if you've got all 5 lines but you haven't joined them up, then you just get 1 mark for that. Part B, the box plot shows the distribution of the ages of men at West Ribble Tennis Club. So that's men, the one we drew is for women. Use the box plots to compare the distribution of age of the women and the distribution of the ages of men. So whenever you need to compare distribution, you need to be looking at 2 very prominent things. You need to first of all think of the median, or whatever average you're using, it will be the median in the box plot. And you also need to compare some kind of a range or the spread, and for that the best one to use is going to be the interquartile range. So let's have a look up here. I can see that the women, remember, had an upper quartile of 42 and a lower quartile of 20. So I'm going to say that women have an IQR of 42 take away 20, which is 22 years. And women have a median of 28 years. Now men have an IQR, so their upper quartile is 40 and their lower quartile is 26. So men have an IQR of 40 take away 26, which equals 14 years, and a median of, what's that, 35, 36 years. So now I've got my calculations, I can go ahead and make the comparisons. It is possible to make the comparisons based on looking. You can clearly see that the men's median is a lot higher than the females. So men's median is all the way up here and women's median is all the way down here. You can also see very clearly that the women's range is wide and the men's range is narrow. Forget the fact that I've done my box huge here, so it's a really wide one, whereas here they've done it very narrow. That doesn't change anything. My finger just looked huge then. So yeah, let's make our conclusions. So I'm going to say that the median age is higher for men than women. And the second one I'm going to say is that because the interquartile range is wider for women than it is for men, I'm going to say women have a larger interquartile range than men. And what that means is that there's a wider variety of ages. And that's a 2-mark question. Or to get 2 marks, you need to comment on 2 things. So the median would be 1 mark and the interquartile range would be another. If you only commented on one of those things, you would only gain 1 of the marks. 11 is a stratified sampling question. So there are a total of 300 students in year 7, 8 and 9 at Mathsville High School. Sounds like an awesome high school. The table shows information about the students, boys, girls and different year groups. So 60 boys in year 7, 59 girls in year 9 and so on. The head teacher takes a sample of 50 students. So the head teacher wants 50 students. His sample is stratified by year and by gender. Work out the number of girls from year 9 in the head teacher's sample. So year 9, girls. Year 9, girls. Now for a stratified sample, the procedure is always the same. It's the number of whatever you're interested in divided by the total multiplied by the sample size that you want. So you find the proportion of people and then you multiply it up, just like you do with probability. So I'm interested in the 59 girls out of however many there are altogether. I don't need to add them up because they told me up here there's 300. So I'm interested in 59 over 300. And then I want to times that by the 50 people I want in the sample. Not 60, 50. So I can tap that into my calculator if I want. And I'm going to end up coming out with 10. So the head teacher wants 10 year 9 girls. It's a 2-mark question. You get 1 mark for showing this proportion times by the sample size, and then you get an accuracy mark for getting the answer right.